Hey friends, Rob Phoenix, Hexenmeister, and Pow Hour here. Hope you're all doing well. Um, I promised yesterday I was going to put this video out today, and then stuff happened today. I didn't think I'd get to it, but it's kind of important, so I really wanted to make time to do this. Recently, about a month or so ago, I was contacted by somebody who doesn't matter. I mean, they do, they matter, obviously, but for the purpose of this discussion, you don't need to know who that is. Um, anyway, would I do basically some Hexenmeister work for this individual, get rid of something negative in their life? And I said, sure. And my standard practice is to say, I will do what I do, but here's what you need to do on your end. And to kind of let you guys know what that is there is years ago when I was working through like self-help stuff, I developed this like mental, mundane, magical method, the three M's. And the mental stuff is the most important when something is going on in your life, um, or you want to make a change in your life. Start with the mental stuff, like figure it out what you want. Or if something's going on, try to find that very root of the issue. Think like, oh, this is going bad, and my job's going bad, and my house is a mess, and my family life is bad, and I'm broke, and blah blah blah. Okay, and like break that down in your mind and figure out what the true root of that issue is. Because a lot of times we can find that at the very root of our problems, it's usually us. I mean, we create more of our own problems than other people create for us. They're busy creating, other people are busy creating their own problems for themselves. They're not really worried about us. Um, so you just kind of have to think that way. Like, uh, that whole mental process is so important for personal development, especially since when you can break it down and find out that, like, if I break down all my issues and realize, like, I'm the problem, that's pretty amazing because then I'm in complete control of it and I can actually make things better. And it can be hard to, like, say, wow, it's really just me. But actually, that's a good thing. That's much better because that means somebody else isn't controlling your life. You're in complete control of your life. And you were just making some poor choices, and that's okay. Uh, Now you know, and you're going to make things better. But sometimes you don't know the root of it, especially when people come to a Hexenmeister. They don't know what's going on, and something spooky might be happening, like paranormal situations or whatever. And so the mental thing is, when did this start? What brought this on? What was I thinking? What was I doing? What was my frame of mind when this all began? Was I doing something stupid like with a Ouija board or whatever? I don't know. I'm just throwing nonsense out there. So when you think I need some help. I need some outside help because, sorry, all this weirdness is going on in my life, or all this badness, or just things feel terrible, or whatever. Start with that mental process, and figure it out because you can really, believe me, you can do this. Even if you write it on paper, like this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this, and this. Sometimes you can figure out, well, these two are actually the same thing. So let's cross one of them off the list, and you can break it all down until you get to that one root, and the root problem might be I'm being stupid, or I'm making poor choices, or I need to manage my money better, stuff like that. But if you break it all down and you're like, I pissed off, an evil witch, or I shouldn't have dug up that grave in the cemetery, you know what I mean? When you get to that point, that's whatever. So anyway, that's the mental process. And then there's the other M. The second one is the mundane process. Once you figured out the mental stuff and it's like mundane, now what are you going to do about it? So if it's us being the creator of our own problems, okay, I'm not managing my money properly. So a mundane thing might be I'm going to talk to somebody more financially savvy to get some ideas what I can do. I'm going to cut this, and this out of my daily expenses. Maybe I don't need two donuts at Dunkin' in the morning. Maybe I just need a coffee and no donuts. Stuff like that. Like we can make these little cuts, and that's good. It's healthy. Um, anyway, that's financial stuff. I don't want to get into that. I'm an accountant and I'm awful with my money. But the mundane stuff is the actions that you're going to take. So if you believe somebody's done something bad to you, mundane actions might be number one, cut that person out of your life as much as you possibly can. Don't think about them. Don't call them. Don't gossip about them. Don't like stew over them or whatever. Or if you can literally tell somebody, I don't want to be associated anymore. Let's just stop here and just go about our ways and God bless us, everyone. Um, or maybe you have to move, maybe you have to switch jobs, whatever the mundane thing is, it's time to start making that plan to do that. And then the magical stuff is when you reach out to your Hexenmeister and I say, yeah, do the mental and mundane stuff. I'm going to work on the magical. And that's where the Hexenmeister, as a Hexenmeister, we're not your therapists. So I may tell you, like, I will tell you, like, do some mental stuff and mundane stuff. I'll work on the magical. And if all three things are being worked on, you should be all right. Um, so the reason this came up is because the person that I was helping said it did not, it's worse. It's worse than it was before I, emailed you. Um, and so my question was, well, you would come up with a couple mundane things. Did you do those things? Well, no, I couldn't because, my health isn't great. And I have this problem and I can't get to her because I can't drive or I don't have a car, whatever the situation was. So there's a lot of that going on. So I thought I better put this out there because a Hexenmeister absolutely can help you to banish something bad from your life. Uh, but ultimately, you need to make the mental choice to do that and the mundane choice to do it as well. The Hexameister is just going to back you up magically. Um, Back in the day, in the olden times, Hexameisters would absolutely take advantage of people. Not all of them, but some would. Uh, because back then, and I assume everybody knows the olden times, you all know what that means. People didn't self evaluate. They didn't plan, there wasn't goal planning. There wasn't like self-evaluation where you'd find the true root of your problem. There was just this, like bad stuff happened. Call Hexenmeister. Hexenmeister charge me money and take care of it for me. And it would either work or it would not. Um, that's just the way it was. So today the Hexenmeister does the same thing, but we're going to offer you just a little tiny advice because we are not your therapist, nor do I want to be anybody's therapist. Sometimes you find yourself talking to people and working through stuff with them or whatever, and that's just being a decent person or a good friend. But you don't want to fall into that trap because I have found that it just drains the life out of you. When you give, people are like, oh, cool, thanks. And then you give a little more and they're like, thanks. And then more. And they're like, oh, yeah, give it to me, baby. Keep giving it to me. Don't do that. Don't put yourself in there. So you got to set some limits for yourself. But we will help you magically based on the information you have provided to us. We will not target a specific individual, um, their name or whatever, because that's not what we do. Maybe back in the day they did that. We don't do that now. So we will do whatever it is that we feel is best to do. Um, but you're only really you're more guaranteed success, a better chance of success if you do that mental and mundane stuff. Um, and that's just the way it is. So if you're not doing your piece, it kind of goes back to, well, we'll try for you, but it's not, the chance of success is much better if you do your part as well. Because we have to take an active role in our lives. Um, when you take that active role, you evaluate, you make plans in your head, you take mundane steps to make things right, and you do your own like folk magic or whatever to aid you in your process. That's you taking control of your life. And then the things that are in control of your life are you. That's you and your forces and your powers and energies. If you're just like, it's whatever, I live day to day, well, then if you open yourself up to whatever, then whatever is going to come into your life, whatever. So, that's as much self-help as you're going to get from me. Uh, only because I don't like to talk about this stuff too much with people just because it's not my place. But this is a response to something that someone said to me yesterday. And, I just want to put it out there, like where I'm coming from and where I train my people to come from. Like, we don't offer diagnosis, we don't do physical health or mental health evaluations. We're not those people. You come to us with an issue, we will try for you for that issue and then send you home. Um, and we're nice about it and such. We're not going to be like rude. It's just that we don't get into the weeds because that's not our place. You have a primary care physician for a reason. You have a therapist for a reason. And your powwow slash Hexenmeister, we also have our purpose. And our purpose is just to do what it is you come to us for. But with Hexenmeister work, there might be a little advice like, okay, mentally self-evaluate to make sure you understand what the true root of the problem is. Do some mundane stuff to, take care of that on your own. Meanwhile, I will do the magical stuff. So that's that. If you're interested in learning this kind of stuff, you can let me know. Like Phoenix Line is my line of POW hours. I say mine just because it started with me. Um, but there's about 50 of us, I would say. I don't know. I've kind of lost track. It's hard to keep track of everybody. Um, so if you're interested in learning powwow from not just me, but some really great folks in our line. And I think you'd be surprised to find out who we are associated with. Um, Let me know. Reach out to me, Robert Phoenix 73 at Gmail. Um, we have a good group of people, and we're learning stuff together too. I mean, I don't know everything, so I'm learning just as much as they are. Uh, There you go. So that's my Hexenmeister video. Sorry if you were expecting something spooky and me doing all kinds of like blasting and demon banishings or whatever. There's a lot less fizz and bang than you might expect. So that's it. Um, I hope you're all doing well. I thought we were getting a break from the heat snap, but apparently back into the 90s tomorrow. So just one of them summers where we're all just cooking. Uh, but that's it. That's all I'd say for tonight. So I hope to hear from you guys soon. Email me if you're interested in anything. RobertPhoenix73 at gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. And also thank you, everybody. I've been doing this YouTube channel. My first YouTube videos were back in 2008. And I started doing powwow stuff then, but they weren't they weren't well done, and I wasn't, I didn't have a great grasp of what I was talking about, and I still had a lot of misinformation floating through my brain. And then I made a powwow video in the summer of 2011. That was under a different channel though. It was Robert Chapman before I got married. That's still out there doing well. If I could go back time and punch myself in the face and not make that video, I probably would do so because it's just I watch it and it's so cringy. You look back in yourself and you think, look how goofy I was. Anyway, so this channel has been up since I think 2013, might have been 2012. I don't know. I think I have my years mixed up. I'm pretty sure I had this site for at least 10 years. This channel, rather, sorry. And it's been good. I mean, not every video is hit, and some videos I've deleted over the years because it's made people angry, and I don't want to be that person. Um, but I have 400 and some videos, and today my son texted me, you just hit 1K subscribers. And like for a YouTube channel after a decade, getting 1,000 subscribers, I know that's pathetic by YouTube standards. And some people have millions of followers and stuff, but I've never been about that. But still 1,000, like, I don't know, it feels good. It's kind of exciting. It kind of felt like my birthday or something today. I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like really proud today. I was really happy and I was really glad that so many of you have taken the time out of your day to watch at least a few minutes of my videos. I know people like watch a few minutes or seconds and click away, and that's okay too. And they're like, who is this gay nerd with weird hair talking about Christianity? It doesn't seem right. I'm clicking away. That's okay. Um, but some of you have really kind of stuck around for the past few years, and I appreciate you all. So That's it. Thank you very much, guys. God bless you all. Love you, and we'll talk again very soon.